Join Dalton and Jacob as they discuss the ever-changing world of trading card games. TCG Buzz starts now.
Took you a little while there, huh, buddy?
I was busy. Oh, no.
Good job, Jacob.
Yeah, I just don't want to see you. Get out of here.
Fine, be that way. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Dalton, back at it again with Jacob, if he can get to himself.
No.
We should probably work on that sometime. You know, reorganizing the buttons and all that good stuff.
Yeah, my buttons on my thingy here are all messed up right now.
You know, it's not even its fault. It's just because things. So, today, as I look over my water deck, trying to see how I can improve it, make it better, stronger, faster. We're going to talk about Dimension Destroyer, yeah? The set that's coming out November 2nd of this year.
I didn't check the date, so I'll say yes.
Don't worry, I did. That's why I said the date.
All right, so we're going to be talking about the newest Buddyfight set. Not Yu-Gi-Oh!, not Digimon. Check out our Digimon match we did. Not Pokemon, nothing like that. We're talking Buddyfight today. We're talking about the next booster set, and, you know, I'm really hoping to talk about some exciting things because the last main booster set blew me away. I don't know if you agree.
If it blew you away, I don't know. That's all on you, man. If it blew you away, it blew you away. I can't determine that for you.
But did it blow you away?
I don't know if it blew you away. Because you's not here. I can't ask him.
No one will understand what you just said.
Yeah. I'll say, no, it was intriguing. It was a good set. It was a good first set.
So this booster set supports the big three, Dragon World, Star Dragon World, Ancient World, as all three are going to be supported in every main booster set this season. With the addition of Katana World, which I thought was pretty interesting, and the first main set appearance of Lost World.
That's a lot of stuff right there, man. A lot of stuff. So what are your first initial thoughts, just from a brief look at all the cards?
I was hoping not to get into this yet, but...
Oh, okay. We can
no, I'll give them a little teaser. I'm kind of disappointed.
Why?
Maybe it's just because of the high that I got from Gargantua Awakened, but this set kind of seems lackluster in comparison.
I could see that. Now, what cards specifically make it seem lackluster to you?
All of them.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think the best way to go about this is we'll talk about each world individually, and I've got at least one thing that I'm kind of disappointed with each.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Lost World. Lost World supports in it is honestly fine. You know, it's just not super exciting because it's, you know, just more of the same if I had to nitpick it. But the Lost World support, pretty supremo.
It's good. So we start off with Ancient World, yeah? Or do we start off with No World?
I say we start off with No World and talk about that one card.
The Lost World Flag. Fantastic card. It's great.
Yep, best world to get support in the set, just saying, is No World. So we're going to move on to Ancient World, and I'm going to let Dalton explain everything with it, because my opinions on it are just going to be an echo of his. We're going to de-share the opinion on this.
See what you did there. So I have two main cards that I'll most likely be adding into my deck myself. But generally, looking over all the cards, well, it's not 7, it's 9 cards, right? 9 cards or something like that.
It's not many.
Not many. Especially since we were under the impression that Astral Dragons would be getting the least amount of support. And then to find out they both got the same amount, I think. Which is kind of depressing in my eyes. So the two cards that I really liked are Chain Select, which is the spell that's the complete opposite of Link Dragon Order. I can't remember the name of the card right now. Jacob Stall.
There were also no legacy support for any other archetypes. There was one or two generically usable spell cards, but I would have loved to see them squeeze in some legacy support. Dual Jaeger's been floundering for quite a while. That would be nice. Or give our boy Dual Seegers some support. Is my stalling working? They also did not receive a new archetype in this. Every other world in this got a new archetype, with the exception of Dragon, because dimensional dragons are technically supported in something else first. But they're the only one without anything really new. It's just more support for Link Dragons. And it's not bad support. It just feels like it's more maintenance than it is giving them something really good.
Aha! It's Links. Link Dragon orders Links. Which I find interesting that Chain Select isn't a Link Dragon order in its name. So far, almost every single spell had Link Dragon order, and I was kind of suspecting it to keep the order, but it doesn't. So basically, they're exact opposites in a sense. So cast cost, you mill the top two cards. This one you choose either to gain a gauge and 3 life, or destroy a spell or item, versus Links, which is gain 3 gauge and 1 life, or destroy a monster. So in my opinion, they're going to be an automatic flop, and then Links is going to go into my sideboard. Mm-hmm. What's your opinions on Chain Select?
It's pretty cute. It's also pretty generic, which is always a plus.
Always.
Probably the best card for Ancient World in the set, I'd say. I mean, there are a couple.
I'd agree.
A couple of the D-share abilities are good. Like, there's one that nullifies, prevents nullification of abilities. That's cute, but that type of ability is not super relevant right now.
Well, also on that note, you have the original. You have the Axe item that protects all of your Link Dragon Order's effects anyway. So, unnecessary?
The item's pretty good, but I mean, overall, when we saw all the Ancient World support, quantity, I guess, is okay. It is a kind of smaller main booster set, but quality was very much like...
I think it was only like 17 cards smaller than the first set.
It's not great support. It's good at best.
Mediocre. It's mediocre.
Which world are we covering next?
Oh, I still have another card, man.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Because now I got to talk about the new item that D-Share allows you to give Penetrate and prevents your cards from being rested, which is muy bonito.
That's a relevant effect.
And those are the only 2 cards in Ancient World that I feel are notable. Yes, there's the new Agito, but I don't really care for it, especially since my mindset for my deck is more size 3. Yes, size 1s are probably better, but guys got to do what a guy's got to do. Now we're off to what? Dragon World? Right?
Yeah, we'll cover Dragon World next, and we're going to take a brief moment to pause this discussion to say, hey, everyone who's joining us in the chat, some new people just joined in or messaging us and all that. Thanks for joining us, to all of you. Dragon World.
I have no notable cards of myself. Nothing. There are good cards. We were kind of talking about this before, and Jacob kind of said, it's boring support.
I take 1 minute to go and stop and thank people, and I get yelled at for dilly-dallying. I see what you guys want. You just want us to be your little monkeys.
All right, Dragon World, nothing really happening. Katana World, nothing really happening. Star Dragon World, nothing really happening. Lost World, yeah, it's all right stuff. All right, that's it.
So, when we saw the Dragon World support, I'm like, this is good support. I'd probably say, consistency-wise, it's probably the best of the 4 worlds, just raw power output. The best overall. But I'm going to say this right now. It is boring.
Yeah?
So basic, so this is the obvious support stuff. Not a single card surprised me. And that sucks. And this is a problem because I kind of felt the same way about Gargantua in set 1 and Dimension Dragons when we first saw them in their special deck.
Like they were cool? Or they were just boring?
Boring.
Oh.
And this set shows it even more. And I'm not saying they're not good archetypes or, fun to play, but the card design itself does not interest me whatsoever.
More elaborate than what you told me before. But still, strong support for both. Gargantua Dragon Deity Tribe or Deity Dragon Tribe. Higher OTK potential because of, Clone mode. There we go. Couldn't remember it for a second. And Cyclone mode. Both very aggressive cards. I guess you can use them defensively, but let's be real. If your opponent's still alive, you did something wrong. Dimensional Dragons, I didn't really look at them too much. I'm pretty sure, besides their one counter destroy Dimensional Dragon, draw 2 cards and gain a life, right?
Which,
desuction or whatever.
that would have blown us away, a year ago?
Jacob, guess what world it's in?
It's in Dragon World. That is true. Any sort of draw power in Dragon World is good, but it is very archetype specific. I could see Dimension Dragons being teched into other archetypes just as like a secondary engine.
Well, yeah, because they have a lot of checking of top deck, adding cards to hand, a lot of amazing draw spells, which just adds more consistency to Dragon World.
They're just really linear, and it's one of those decks. I have not actually played the deck ever, so take my words with a grain of salt, but I feel like it's this type of deck where if you're playing them, every game's going to feel the same.
Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes you don't want to stray away from the main goal of the deck, which I feel like Dimensional Dragons do well, but at the same time, you don't have the liberty of being different within the same deck, kind of like Chaos. You had normal Chaos, mini Gear Gods, auto deities, and then you had slight variance in each. You don't have the... as of right now, I could be blinded by just
the studio lights raining down above.
Yes, I am blinded by the lights. Just from first support, from special set and the actual second set, just blinded by that and how linear it is right now. But it could get better later down the line, so on and so forth. Rama is still antagonist, so it's going to have to get better eventually, right?
Also, I'm just saying, if they ever print cards that hard counter Lost World, and that there's a reasonable chance they might, Dimension Dragons just go straight in the trash.
They go into Zwei.
Please stop.
I tried.
Kind of lackluster on both fronts for me. I don't know if maybe I'm missing a particular card or there's like some hidden gem amongst them that's actually exciting. You guys can let us know in chats, especially if you actually play one of those decks. But I'm very on the set. You?
It's there. It's just more support, I guess. More cards, more things to waste your money on.
Are you ready?
By I mean mine.
Are you ready to move on to the next world?
Is it Lost World?
Do you want it to be?
If we're going by alphabetical order. It should be.
B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. It's Katana World.
Wanted to make sure. Katana World. Or Katana World. However people say it.
I pronounce it Katana World. It's Katana World.
So, Garga Ninjas. Kind of fall in the same line as the Dragon World support. Kind of like, okay, it's there. It's cool. It's a great concept and so forth. Can't wait to see what...
Yeah, concept-wise, they get a 10 out of 10.
The rest of Garga's adventures take us. Because we all know he's going to eventually go into more. We even got spoils that there's going to be a triple deck for Ancient Dragon and Stall Dragon World for him. So,
I believe it was on our Discord. Someone asked me, what I thought of them so far. When we only had about half or 2/3 of them revealed. And I said they look pretty cool. But my one criticism is so far they haven't done enough to separate them from just being normal ninjas.
Not even that. They haven't done. I don't feel like they've really done enough to separate the fact that they're still somewhat of an OTK deck.
You just jumped to the big thing that I was building up to. Yeah, they're too similar to the Dragon World variant. That being said,
they technically do it in a different style. Yes, with your sneaky ninja ways, but in a sense, you're still doing the same thing, just a different way. Jacob, I'm sorry I did cut you off.
That's okay. We do that a lot. Yeah, I feel they did almost enough to differentiate them, but a little short. I feel like if there's a hardcore Gargantua fan out there who's playing Dragon World and wants to keep playing with that Gargantua support and they decide to build this, they're actually going to be pretty disappointed.
Well, it depends on what they're looking for.
Right. If they're looking for it to be the same as Gargantua, it's not.
Kind of is.
Kind of.
You just get access to spell nulls, bouncing cards.
I mean, it's basically just Gargantua, but slightly less on the power output side, but you get a good sideboard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The new archetype being introduced is the swordsman. I mean, Bladedancers. Right? They're Bladedancers?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Bladedancers. I have one card to talk about specifically just because it was released yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And the fact that it's, funny enough, OTK potential is through the roof. I'm talking about Alloy Instructor Shakudo. There we go. It's a size 2 with stats of 7/4. Call costs 2 gauge for the top card of your deck into its soul. Has triple attack, soul guard. And its one and only effect. If you have an Excelblade, I forget what the swords are actually called. The rest of your Bladedancers get plus 3,000 power, plus 1 crit, and penetrate. And funny enough, there was also a sword that was released that gives plus 5,000 power, plus 1 crit to all your Bladedancers. So, and you have one of the first Bladedancers released from the anime that has double attack. That I think has 1 crit. Now it has 3 crit. And this guy has triple attack. Is at 4. I ain't too strong on math, but after 3 attacks, your opponent's dead.
When I first saw this archetype, I'm like, all right, these guys look pretty cool, right? That was my first thing. And my second thought was, are these the new Japanese Blade deck? The new revival of some of their concepts, because, a weapon-focused deck in Katana World that has a lot of good OTK potential, probably budget-orientated, and it's one of those decks that's going to be released, and then everyone's going to forget about it, and then 4 sets later, maybe the Climax booster, they're going to get crazy good support, and then be at least rogue viable, and people aren't going to see them coming. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Yeah, it's all of those things.
Oh, I don't know. I think they're going to be out there right away, because their initial support's quite strong. You even said it yourself, because they technically have a clone of your size 2 from Godpunks. The resting, pay a gauge, grab 2 different sizes, and add them back to hand.
Which is an amazing skill. Speaking from experience, great skill. And it's on a size.
No, please.
It's on a size 1 instead of a size 2.
I think your mic's too much in your face.
My mic's always too much in my face. So it's really, really, really good. The archetype in general is good, and it does have some actual good counter spells and whatnot, which, to be clear, Japanese Blade never had.
This is true.
So I see potential there. They've got access to the classic Katana World sideboard materials. So as far as an aggressive deck goes, I think they're in pretty good shape. But I think the number of cards is just too small for them to be viable right now.
That's definitely true. You know, I kind of noticed that Ace has had smaller main booster sets, which is kind of intriguing. So I think the first one had 97 cards in the first set, and then comparing that to the very first set for Buddyfight, which had 117, it's like 20 less cards. You know, I get it. We've gone so far. You don't want to introduce too much brokenness to the game yet, but still, think they would try to get around 100 or something like that. In my opinion, you know. All right, so what's next? Lost World? Or unless you have more to say about Katana World.
Hey, Electro Deity's got like one card. I do have to knock them. I would have liked to see a little bit more support for Electros. I mean, you just introduced them, and you have a new Contra World set. Sure.
Counter argument on that. They were just introduced in basically their own set. You know, kind of like all of Hero World has always been done. So why would they need more support? So I feel like they did it right in that sense because you're introducing a new archetype, technically two new archetypes in it. Wait a minute. That's fine. I won't get into that. So you don't really have the room and space to tech in more Electro Deity stuff on top of the fact that the set is so small.
You know, I can see insert casual Buddyfight fan here who bought some Ultimate Booster stuff, built Electro Deities, then they hear, oh, there's a new set out that has Katana World support. And they end up buying it for Electro Deity stuff and being really disappointed.
That comes down to research, in my opinion. Oh. I don't want to sound like the complete douche, but you have plenty of great spots like Open the Flag, Buddy Spoiler, the actual Buddyfight site, even though sometimes it's that if you wait until the set's actually dropped, you can basically go check out the entire list and be like, oh, there's like one card. It's not worth my money. Then again, that's just me looking at it as a penny pincher myself. Cough, cough.
Drops $800 on the next Buddyfight set. What?
Not gonna happen. Come on, bro.
Watch.
I'm watching.
All right, 400.
Oh.
How much did you drop on Gargantua?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
So Lost World. I kind of voiced my opinions on it already. It's pretty good, but uneventful. It's kind of in that same box that Dragon World's in right now, where I'm like, there's some cool stuff in here.
Well, I think more to the line of Dimensional Dragons, where this month, what is it, this Friday, you're going to be getting the special set. So you're going to get a Dimensional Dragon deck and a Lost World deck. Sure, the Lost World deck's not the greatest thing. Whatever. But you have that, and then the very next month, you're going to get some support, but nothing too crazy. There's going to be upgrades, obviously. And it's really just more of an extra booster in that sense, even though it's a main booster set. It's an extra booster, as in a sense, Lost World, Dimensional Dragons, Link Dragon Order, Astro Dragons, and Dragon World Deity Dragon Tribes are all just getting upgrades with a few added cards.
Also, that one card that can shut down you taking any damage from impacts is really cool, but it's being released at literally the worst time because impacts are probably the least relevant they've ever been.
And that's why you can also reduce damage. Or no, nullify the attack, I believe. I can't remember because it has two effects. You gonna say anything on that, or are you just gonna leave it on my
just gonna leave it on you? Yeah, I think the Lost World support's good. I really like the SP of Vanity Husk. Looks really cool. Not sure if it's gonna be better than the question mark rare, which we didn't get in this set, as far as I know.
That's what I have to go do. I'll be right back. I'm joking.
That would be news to me.
All right. So what's chat talking about before we head into Star Dragon World? Because
Dragon Ball Super.
no, for real. What are they talking about? Like, do they have specific cards that they really like from all the worlds that we've talked about so far?
They can let us know now if they'd like to.
So they were really talking about Super.
Just one comment on it, and I'm just messing around.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. But yeah, scroll through chat, man. I kind of want to see what the people are saying right now.
So there probably is a question mark in this set, but we don't have knowledge of it yet. Is my understanding.
It's most likely going to be, like back in the old days, a preview of what the next set's going to have. But that's besides the point. Notice how the question mark cards have been more a preview card of the next main booster set instead of like...
Hey, it's like Buddy Rares used to be.
Well, no, Buddy Rares before also alluded to...
Extra boosters and stuff. Yeah.
So do you see anything there, or should we just jump into Star Dragon World?
Now let's move on. I want to talk about Star Dragon quite a bit.
And by all means, my good sir, take it away.
Oh, I thought you were going to give us like a 500-word report on it.
But you're only going to give like a 10-word report, so I was
okay. Let's start with Astro Dragons.
Yeah.
Astro Dragon's got good stuff. In particular, I think the new Astrologia has a lot of potential. They got some good new resource cards. They got some really interesting, if not great, size ones to do things with. Pretty decent, honestly. I'd like to see a lot more playtesting with that new Astrologia because its ability to do things. Astrology? I don't know how its name is pronounced. The boss card.
Making sure.
It's pretty impressive, and honestly, I thought it was pretty decent support, especially since they were squeezed into only a smaller number of cards because they had to fit an entire new archetype into Star Dragon World. But I think there are some good upgrades to the Astro Dragon deck. That being said,
before you get into your boys,
I'm not there yet.
I just want to put this in. So looking at the three main archetypes, and the fact that both Ancient World and Star Dragon World have less cards and so forth, I feel like Astro Dragon's got the better support.
Oh, for sure.
I could be wrong. Let me know in chat, or if you're watching this afterwards.
No, I'll just answer right now. You're right. They did get the better support.
But, I guess I'm a pretty old dude. Horrible pun. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. Ugh.
Astrologia? I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm bad with words.
Can
we get a nickname for it, like Garga?
Astro? I don't know.
Someone come up with something in chat. My big criticism with their support, though, they still don't have what they're missing. A good win condition.
Let's see here. What I would like to see Bushi do for this archetype is somehow give them like a set spell or a few monsters or so forth. That kind of crazy here. Makes your opponent mill their deck while you draw your deck. And I think that would be the coolest thing. Because you already have natural synergy. Because it's all going to be based kind of like Killing Chain from Darkness Dragon World. Where if this thing happens, then this effect procs. Like, if you draw a card, your opponent mills a card. Gain a gauge, your opponent mills a card. I know it's a long shot, but I thought I'd throw that out there. Continue, sir.
I think Astro's got some good stuff. That's really my only thought on it. I think if they're going to give him a win condition, they should give him extra turns just to really rub in the salt. That's always been my opinion.
I would agree with that, but the extra turn thing got nerfed, so.
Even with the nerf, a single extra turn will be enough to be a good win condition for them. Anyway, we can talk about that for like half an hour.
Obstruct. No win condition for you.
Hey, man, they still get their normal charge and draw for the second turn.
But if you cast it like as soon as they start, nothing happens. It's all like, ha, that's cute.
All right, so let's talk about the thing I most wanted to talk about from the entire set. The new Star Dragon World archetype. And first of all, Star Dragon World's weird. Every other archetype they introduce is really cool. Because we're going to skip Neo Dragons because we're skipping Neo Dragons. Ignore us. Prism Dragons. I mean, I played them, but they're not super cool. Cosmo Dragoons. One of the most awesome archetypes in all of Buddyfight.
Just beautiful.
Astro Dragons. All right. Dragmetal, because apparently we're losing the G now, unless it's a mistranslation.
Drog Steel. I don't know. It could have been a better archetype name, but that's besides the point. What you got there? You're reading pretty intently.
I'm just seeing if anyone has any confirmation on like if it's official. I'm gonna call him Dragmetal. I'm sorry.
It sounds more like you're saying draw metal.
Can we just call them chess dragons? Is that okay?
But are they even dragons?
I mean, they have draw in their name, you know.
That doesn't mean anything because their actual names don't indicate. Have I confused you?
I'm just gonna call them chess boys. Yeah. So first of all,
oh, speaking of chess boys, stay tuned for when we get our hands on enough of the cards. We will be doing. No, I'm not gonna do that. Chess match with a chest and a.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing an actual game of chess on the channel with one person playing with like OG generic chess cards representing their pieces, and the other player using these new cards as their pieces. And I don't know, are there enough pieces to do that now? Because I really want to.
I don't think there's a queen. Because original chess, they have everything. New one, there's 2 knight cards. You have a pawn. You have a bishop. Was there a rook? I don't think there was a rook. There's a king, and there's also no queen.
Yeah, there are. First of all, their archetypes very much like if there's one thing you get from scanning over all their cards, it's that they're incomplete. This is even more than Excelblade / Bladedancer / whatever they are. This archetype is first set support, super obvious, incomplete. It's like Thunder Emperor's Fang. What was the set? The third booster set. Roar? No. Thunder Warlords. I don't know. It's the
Thunder Empire. Awaken? No. Overturn Thunder Empire.
That's the one. It's like dual golems from that set. We're like, this archetype's really cool, but it's so obvious they don't have enough yet. I like them. So their main gimmick is they steal the opponent's zones, which is something I've been saying Buddyfight should do since Season 1. And it's finally at the point where that's not broken, even though it's still kind of broken. Even with their limited support, they're going to see play.
I never remember you saying this. What are you talking about that you said this since Season 1? I don't remember this.
I have.
You must have been saying it to yourself. You didn't tell me. Christian never told me that you told him that.
Wow. Anyways, so that's pretty cool. Dragmetal, Chess Boys, definitely the highlight of the set. That's the thing that got everyone talking. And they're really cool concept-wise, designs-wise. They get a better gambit.
I gotta stop you real quick. On the fact that they're the whole talk, right? What was the last archetype that did the exact same thing?
What thing?
Where, like, everyone is talking about them. Everyone kind of wants to play them.
Godpunks?
No.
What?
Come on, you know this. It's in the same world.
Dual golems? Mummies.
Not in Danger World.
Oh, in the same world as Star Dragon?
Yes.
Cosmos?
Yes. Don't you remember?
You confused me.
How? Because everyone was so hyped for Cosmo Dragoons. And when are they going to get more support? I need to make them meta relevant. I can OTK with them, but it's not strong enough yet. Not yet.
I do definitely see competitive viability for this deck. Even with their limited support, they're going to start seeing play pretty much immediately. And they're only going to get better when they do get more support. I'm really liking them. I think concept's great. I think their new gambit is just a better gambit. Can't complain about that, can you? Also, they can run gambit. Not that they would, but they could. What's your take on them?
I just want to play chess with them. That's all I want to do.
Do you think this is another salty deck? You know, a deck that makes people salty? Because, you know, Godpunks are definitely one of those decks, and, you know, that's all X was as a season. I do feel this deck has the potential to, you know, trigger some people. Just because, you know, anytime a deck specifically is designed to prevent the opponent from doing things, it's going to get some heat.
It depends on future support, if it does get future support. Because as of right now, it probably will trigger people, especially Astral players. Hence why I don't think Astrals will be seen for a long time. It's only a matter of time before we get counter bouncing cards or bouncing cards in every world to kind of combat those cards. So Katana World's already got one. Magic World has one, right? A monster bouncer. Come on, Mr. Magic.
What are we talking about? I was not listening to you whatsoever. I was reading chat because people were saying fun things. What kind of bouncing card in Magic World?
Don't they have a monster bouncer?
They got like 70.
There's my point, mate. Just trying to get that across. I'm saying, like, the only real way to counter them is to be able to bounce their cards. Because if you can bounce their cards, they kind of slow down. Because it's like, well, I don't really have a way to protect it from that. Unless they get an anti-bounce set spell or item.
Chat is, meanwhile, talking about Buddyfight Gen 3 already, so...
Gen 3?
Yeah, when Yuga has a son or daughter. It's going to be a daughter. I want the next protagonist to be a lady.
Stick to the present. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, so they have competitive viability. They've got a cool concept, some really cool art. They've got a lot of people talking. It's a perfect archetype, except for the fact that they don't have enough support yet, which is fine. They'll get their support. They'll become broken at some point, and that's okay.
Is it time to wrap it up? Is that what you flipped it over to me for, to wrap up the whole set?
I don't know. I think that's for you to decide. If you want to, sure. If you
Well, my overall analysis of the set is this set's probably going to be a heavy buy singles only I feel like for a lot of people, you're not going to see many people just buying boxes just because they want to. I buy boxes because I prefer to buy boxes and support my local game shop. But it's also still hard to say. You know, maybe we'll find somebody might figure out a way to break a few of the decks in there, and all of a sudden it becomes a hot set, you know? Kind of like in Super, where Tournament of Power was initially written off as a bad set, and then it comes out and everyone's like, oh snap, this set's actually good. You remember that?
I still don't think it's a good set, just saying. I feel my personal space being in not.
I feel accomplished. So, Jacob, any last words?
No, I think I'm good.
Good. So, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell to get the notifications, though. Follow us on Instagram, join our Discord, check out our shop. Links will be in the description down below. Are you sure there's nothing else you want to say, Jacob?
Just want to thank everyone who joined us in chat for joining us, and I'm going to say goodbye.
And above all else, stay classy, y'all.
Thanks for listening to TCG Buzz. New episodes can be found on tcgbuzz.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For box openings, deck profiles, and more, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.